folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. We're in the garage working on a little bit of a project. It's still in the dead of winter. We're got a little project we're working on here and so forth like that. And before you all yell and go, wait a minute, that's not a military vehicle. That's just your regular old POS Chrysler Town & Country minivan. That is correct. We are going to be working on a minivan, but we are actually going to be converting this into a military-like vehicle because I do participate with a big group. We go to a lot of the big military simulation events with the airsoft weapons that we showed you in one of the previous episodes there. And so we go and we do these big national events. And one of the things we wanted to do was build basically a technical or a vehicle that we could deliver a squad in, but have some firepower to be able to defend ourselves. Basically, think of this as basically our Black Hawk helicopter. So we've bought a cheap minivan. Didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. All we wanted was one that drove, had ran good, transmission shifts well, brakes work good. That was all we were really concerned about. It's got a little rust on the bottom. We sprayed some foam in the bottom to seal it up. Interior we didn't really care about. We've gutted the interior, and one of the things we just finished doing, and we're going to show you in this episode, is we've built flex mounts for pair of M60 machine guns to fire out of each side. So we mounted this all into the B pillar, and this is designed so that two gunners in the back can man the machine guns, give us cover as we come in and out of buildings, and we've cleaned everything out of the back of the van, all the seating and all that stuff. That way we can fit a small squad of soldiers in the back, and we can pull up, pop the rear hatch, let them exfil out of the vehicle while we're giving them cover with the machine guns. So we've designed these so these pivot in and out. Gives us a pretty good range of motion, and of course they are on some standard pintle mounts. And of course gives us a pretty good range of motion. We can, I mean, even go all the way around and so forth like that. So we've mounted this on both sides, and should work pretty decent. All right, here you can see a good example. So you can see it nice and close. So we just basically have a Z-bar welded into the B pillar on the vehicle, allowing it to rotate in and out. And then a pintle, and we have these M60 style pintles. Allows the machine gun to clip in. And so the nice thing with these is we are going to be able to fold the guns in and shut the doors if we need be. So we're gonna should be able to cover a good field of fire and have some pretty good range with these. So that's what our intended plan is. So sit back. We're going to show you how we kind of built some of the stuff, and show you how we converted this into an airsoft, basically Black Hawk helicopter. So thanks for watching, and sit back and enjoy. Thanks. Okay, folks, one of the first things we're going to build here is we're going to repurpose some of the old tubing that we had on the old Bulldog, which was the old Polaris Ranger. And so we're going to cut and repurpose some of that steel just to save a little bit of money. And these are going to be the new, basically, Z-bar that we built. My buddy Spencer's here. He's a professional welder. He's going to go ahead and do all the welding on these and on the mount on the B pillars. And so what we got here is what's commonly called a Z-bar. And so this side here is going to be designed to go down in the holder on the B pillar. And then our pencil mount is going to go in on that end. Give us the pivot, and we're going to have pivot this way back and forth. Now, this panel, this is a bit of a homemade panel that we made for the other one. Now, this is a real M60 mount, and this is the one that clips in off the front, has the spring, and it mounts on the 2 spring pins there, just above the front of the trigger housing. So that does make it nice to be able to clip and unclip the gun out of the mounts fairly quickly if we need to. And so, you know, we've gone ahead, cut, and he's welded around on the bars here and stuff like that. So one done, we're going to go ahead. He's going to finish welding up the second one here, and then we're going to go ahead and get those mounted into the vehicle there. And I'm probably going to spray a little black paint on these and make them look pretty decent. And then we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and get them mounted up in the vehicle. All right, so we do have one of the Airsoft M60s here. And as you can see, there are the 2 locating pins right there on the front. So the way this mount works, there's a hole here in the bottom that it's going to hook on. And that snap in there. And you got a nice mount there. You have a little bit of slop. It's going to be expected. But it is going to give a nice firm mount. And of course, we are going to be able to pivot up and down. We do have this tightened up somewhat so that the weight of the gun gives it a nice balance. It's not too floppy. Like if you let off the gun, it doesn't want to just flop over. So it'll move easily enough with a person manipulating it, moving up and down. But when it's left in a static position, they will hold their position, which is a good thing. So we're going to go ahead now. We'll get those Z-bars mounted, and we're going to get those put into the vehicle. And then we're going to get some guns mounted, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to wire up, and we're going to direct wire these units right into the van. So that's what's coming next. All right, you can see we have a close-up of the mount here welded into the B pillar. We notch the interior plastic a little bit to make room for it, be able to put it all back together. We then have our 12-volt power running out. We've come up through the center here, zip tied it along the arm, tucked it through, and then we have a nice Dean's connector here hooked to the gun to power the gun. And of course, these guns power, and then you do have a second lead here. This runs to power the box mag, and this is a box mag style, and so we can look it up. And there's all the BBs, and so it's just a big hopper of BBs, and so it's got separate power that every time the trigger's pulled feeds to the hopper, which pushes BBs up through and through this tube, feeding them into the gun. So all in all, it makes a pretty powerful stream of BBs. as it flies out, and we should have some pretty good coverage. So move it around a little. Sweet, yep. Sweet, pull it out. All right, question for the boys. Shield, it does limit us a little bit on maneuverability and in and out of stuff versus no shields. We have greater mobility, a little bit greater range. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do you guys want to do? Okay, and this is our Damage Inc. logo that we've added to the van on both sides. So this is the team I play with. We do play a lot of big national events, and we try and play whenever we can. Of course, things have been a little slim pickings the last couple years. And of course, then with this van, we are going to an event in Muscatatuck, Indiana. This is going to be hosted by Centurions Military Simulations. And of course, we are going to play under the Hawk Corp, which is a group of private military contractors. And we will be using this as a company van to get around and protect. And then, of course, we did have to add our Damage Inc. patch to the hood. All right, and like we talked about in the previous episode, these are airsoft guns. So this is what's known as an AEG, or an automatic electric gun. And so one of the things we've done is we've actually hardwired this into the vehicle. So we got both these guns, and they're both going to fire right off the vehicle. So when the vehicle's running, we'll have batteries. And we don't have to worry about changing out batteries. We just got to keep feeding BBs into it, and should be pretty good to go. We have, like I said, we got it mounted to both sides. And then one of the things we do have, so to symbolize when you get hit, and for a vehicle, when you have to get hit by a rocket to go out, and then you're dead. So we have added just the cheap LED blinky red light. That signifies that we're dead. So we can turn that on and off from the driver's seat. And it should allow for plenty of room for pilot, co-pilot, 2-door gunners, and a few people in the back. So that's what the big plan is. All right, with the van running and power hooked up, we have power to the airsoft. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up some of this Green Iron TV today. Well, I know it's not what we normally work on. It is fun every once in a while to go outside the box and do something a little different. So, yes, we did work on a old Chrysler Town and Country, but we've got it converted into a gun truck. And of course, this is actually the second time we've done this. The first time we did it with a Polaris Ranger side-by-side. And of course, the vehicle's nickname was Bulldog, or its call sign was Bulldog. So the guys in the group here, we've redone this one, and this is now going to be known as Bulldog 2. And that will be the call sign on the radios when people need support with the vehicle. So we're looking forward to going to that event here in early March down at the Muscatatuck Urban Training Center. So maybe while I'm down there, I will try and take some video and some footage, and we may put up some of that footage on the channel when we get back, if we have some time, and if it turns out pretty decent. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys all for checking in. We appreciate every little bit. Make sure you please like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. We love to hear from everybody. So thanks a lot, and you guys have a good night.